Hey guys, today I'm going to be showing you a frontline build guide for all kinds of frontline. Now first up we're going to be starting with probably the most popular one that everyone plays on, and that is going to be on this map, Supreme. And everyone plays this map, so it's going to be very popular. So what I'm going to be doing here is a 3 mechs start, and I do that because there's a little bit of a gap between the 3 mexes, so I barely have enough time to make all 3 mexes without stalling any energy. And then I'm going to make 4 wind turbines into a bot lab. Now I will also be showing the vehicle starting guide as well.
Battle started.
Okay, here's where the flexibility part comes in. If you're scared about fleas, you should make 2 grunts. Or if the yeah, and if you're not really scared, you can just make your 2 cons and a res bot. That is kind of interchangeable, whether you make the res bot or the 2 cons first. If the wind is really high like it is right now, I usually make the res bot afterwards. So we're gonna make 4 more winds and occasionally swapping them out. You can send these out, just to look for text. This isn't a real game, but if this was, you can put these out because they have long range. Uh, keep switching back and forth. And here I like to make a solar. This is gonna be really sloppy, but I like to make a solar here, and then an energy storage. Now a lot of people sleep on energy storages, and then they complain, "Oh my God, energy is so bad," or "Wind is trash." But as long as the wind isn't completely terrible, you shouldn't be stalling this energy storage. And then usually you can walk your comm out. If the wind is like terrible and you decided to go for a wind build on the map, you can add extra solars while you're walking up next to your mexes, so you can make solar radar because there's a choke point up here, so I don't have to make an LT yet. And then you can do uh, like six infantry units, and then a con, and you can send your res bot out to go res stuff. And then it really, after you have a decent amount of infantry, uh, you can start making rocket bots. So, the build order would be like 5, 1 again. And then once you get your comms out, it's really up to you whether you want to make a nano. If you just want to make a lot of units because you want to spam units, you should keep making fewer units and more comms, like a 1 or a 4 until you have a bunch of cons helping the building. Or if you need like energy, you can make uh, a nano and then split up your engineers. So I'll have this guy making winds. I'll have this guy making uh, converters. And then, I can start making less and less engineers because we have more build power. And, while you're doing this, obviously you can micro your commander, but it's not a real game, so I won't be doing that. And again, it's all situational, so if you are struggling with energy, like there's not a lot of resible stuff, you can skip the converters and go to um, solar, but it's just, this frontline is a lot of micro. You need to know how to micro your units well and keep checking back on your base. Because at this point in a game, I would probably send this con to help this one, and then maybe get a geo or whatever. So that is on a rich map. Like, what I mean is wind, uh, trees to reclaim, and you start with 3 mexes, and you can easily walk your comm out to get more mexes. Alright, now here is how you do a frontline start. Like, usually people, this is a bad example because it's almost always better to start uh, on these positions on the map. but let's just say that, there were no other positions. Because there are some maps like that. Uh, Instead of going to one max and then building a lab, if you want to get front and get the most maxes while also picking up the ones behind you, this is a way to do a start. Now, again, this is mainly for team games, not 1v1, obviously. I don't know why you would play 1v1 on this map, but uh, you know what I mean. So we're going to start with a max on the single max that we started, and then into a solar and an LLT so it doesn't get, like, destroyed by tick spam. And then we're going to make the walk to the maxes we're going to use for our lab. And while we're on this walk, it's important to, send your teammates energy because you will have a lot of it. As you can see, we finished the LLT and then it is creeping. So you want to move that little red. If we were in a team game, there'd be a little red thing that we would float energy to our teammates, and that's what we would do. So it'd pretty much get distributed. And then once we make it to like the second max, we will make a lab very quickly because at this point they would have started pumping units. So we're gonna make a lab. But the difference is that while our opponent would still be with his commander here, just like I showed in the last scenario, we are already up here. So he's gonna start walking after we finish our last max down here. And yeah, we're gonna make some grunts to again defend from mass unit spam. That's the one counter. If they're spamming a ton of units, they can surround you and pretty much just destroy all your eco that you've made. And we're gonna be able to get to their front a lot faster. And yeah, so you can start making some solars.
Low power.
It's okay if you stall a little bit in the beginning, it won't really matter. So you want to get those units out and then keep making. If the wind is really good, which right now it's not, you could make wind, but I'm going to make solar in this case. Okay, and then we have our 2 units out, so we can spread these out around, or even if you're feeling extremely aggressive, you can make more units before your first constructor. And then we're gonna make one last solar, and now we're gonna walk. And we're gonna get this max, and we're gonna skip all the way to like the next frontline max. And the reason we're doing this is to not slow down as we're walking, because they should have started walking maybe about now. And you can keep a short build order so you can get those constructors out fast. They should have started walking about now, and they should have gotten to this max. And we are much farther than that. We are almost already at the halfway line, so you can skip a couple of maxes. And at this point, you should, use some grunts to give an escort to this con that you're building all the way back to your previous maxes. And once you have a ton of metal, then you can start, increasing your build power. Because right now you want to get a foothold, like really front. Even I think this might be even a better max to go for. And you can, send this guy to go get those maxes. And, pressure, defend from the angles. You should have teammates in the other lanes, so you won't need to worry too much about that, but it's definitely a valid threat. So, you can send some guys to help him. And when you get here, you can make a radar. And when we get this con, we're going to send him to help the factory. And if you chose to go with wind and it's failing, you could build a solar up here. And we are not going to go back and take all these maxes. We're going to do that with the next con that pops up. So at this point, they should have reached these 3. And, we could be pressuring with the amount of units we've made so far. trying to hold them back. And if you decide not to make the solar, we could have been to this one already. And as you can see, they're going to be here and we're going to be here. So we're going to have a ton of metal advantage because this con is going to, we're going to send them out, grab all these mexes that we missed, and then keep making energy with your commander if, again, you're struggling. We're skipping the storage because we want to go fast. This is like rushing the middle, and we keep these guys to protect him. And now I'm stalling,
No
so I'm going to
power.
make a solar with my engineers because I have a ton more metal. And, keep making some more solars because we have a sizable amount of units right now. It's not like we're struggling, so we could use these units to hold us down. And you do want to be going for grunts, not rocket bots, because we want to push so far up that any form of rocket bots would be too slow, probably. And now that I have enough energy, I can make a nano. And after the nano, I can make solars, and you know, you get the idea. Thank you so much for watching part 1. I can make a part 2 with arm and vehicle if you guys want, but this was just a quick frontline tutorial for a lot of people I've been seeing that are struggling with trying to hold frontline. Like stalling or not microwing or focusing too much on eco, no units.